Wow, hello and welcome to this training on how to use the Google Classroom. I am Nancy Ekpezu. I am a professional administrator and a certified life coach, and I've been in the education sector for over 25 years now. I train, I coach, I consult, and I've been a school administrator in 4 reputable schools across Nigeria. And today I am the founder and the lead facilitator and consultant at the Peso Smith Consulting. So it's my pleasure to welcome you to this training. Now, this training is in 2 parts. We are going to have the theory part, which is what I'm doing. I'm going to run you through what the Google Classroom is, what exactly you'll be doing, and why you are using the Google Classroom, how to use it. And then there'll be a second part where we have the tutorial that actually shows you hands-on right in the Google Classroom. So basically this is like an intro. Okay, so I'm sure you've heard about the Google Classroom. You must have heard about the Microsoft Classroom. You've heard about several options that you can use to teach your students online as virtual classrooms. So you have the Google Classroom, you have the Microsoft Classroom, you have Doodle, you have Zoom, and you have so many others. Okay, so many. If I want to list them, it's gonna take quite a while. I know at least 30 platforms when I went on to research about them, but I'm used to the Google Classroom and I've been using it for a few years now, and I think I recommend it because it's very easy to use and and it's free. Okay, so let's look at that. So why the Google Classroom? Why do we choose Google Classroom above some others? There are several. There's Edmodo, there's the Microsoft Classroom. There are so many others really. But this training is just for the Google Classroom. If you want to have one on the Microsoft or Edmodo, I'm also available to do that. But basically, we are focusing on the Google Classroom today. And we're going to look at why the Google Classroom, okay? So this is basically what it looks like. When you get on there, you're going to see something like this. When you're joining a class, okay, when it's all set up, you have something like that. So let's just start immediately. So this is the digital age, and every teacher must be able to teach their students on a virtual platform or be considered obsolete. That's what I think. Or what do you think? Now let's look at the course overview. We're going to look at what is Google Classroom, the benefits of using Google Classroom, what you can do with Google Classroom, how to create classes on Google Classroom, how to add students to the Google Classroom, how to post assignments on the Google Classroom, how to grade assignments and provide feedback, and then we'll explore, the student features and then the teacher features, okay? So basically, what is a digital classroom in the first place, okay? A digital classroom is different from your brick and mortar classroom. That's the physical, traditional classroom we're used to. It's a digital classroom, okay, a learning management system designed to stimulate a teacher-student relationship, but in a digital manner. That's on a virtual platform. And what is Google Classroom? The Google Classroom is basically a learning management system designed to help teachers teach their students, create and collect assignments paperlessly, including time-saving features such as the ability to automatically make a copy of a Google document, for each student. And I want to say that the Google Classroom is not limited to teaching students. It can also be used as an administrative tool for communicating, okay, with your team, and we're going to look at that later. So what are the benefits of a Google Classroom? Google Classroom is about the only tool designed by Google that incorporates the other Google tools such as Google Drive, Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, Google Forms, and even Gmail. So when you have access to Google Classroom, automatically you're going to have access to the Drive, to the Sheets, to the Slides, to the Forms, okay? So it's an all-encompassing package and it's free. So it is free for individuals who have a Gmail account and for schools that are already using the G Suite for Education, which is also free. Now, if you're going to use the G Suite for Education, you will need to have a website, and then you can apply to Google, and it's free. Actually, they'll just approve, and you get that, you register with them, and that's it. The advantage of using the G Suite for Education is that you get to have support directly from Google, and but you must have a website, and then it generates specific Gmail accounts that are actually specifically for your school, for your team, for your teachers. And so that's one advantage of using the G Suite. But if you're using it as an individual, because you can sign up to use as a school, or you can sign up to use as an individual. If you're using as an individual, you have about 70% of the features. It doesn't include specified emails for you. You can use the general Gmail, just open a Gmail account, and voila, you can just open your classroom once you have a Gmail account. And there's no card, there's no ad, there's no subscription. You don't need to pay monthly or one-off or whatever. It's just free as in free. That's what makes a lot of people come to the Google Classroom. We call it the G Classroom. It's very easy to learn. So if you're already comfortable with digital technology like the Google Drive, you can get the basics and have assignments created in just about 10 minutes. And that's a fact. It's as easy as that. It integrates Google Drive, uses templates and documents to share with students very quickly and easily. You get to find out this when you do the tutorials, and then you start practicing on your own and using it. It integrates with Google Calendar. So deadlines are automatically added to users' Google Calendar to help students and teachers manage and keep track of workloads. That's another advantage. So it integrates with the Google Calendar. You can set deadlines. If you have assignments, you have timelines for things to be submitted, or even for your team, okay, for your admin team and for others. So it easily distributes and manages assignments. And you get to see that assignments can be given to a specific child or generally in the stream, for the whole class. So it has various uses. It automatically creates a Google Drive folder with the right permissions for any student work. So when students submit their work, Google just automatically creates a folder, a Drive folder, for it, which makes storage easier to manage. Unlike your classroom, even in your physical classroom where you keep looking for paper or you misplace things here and there, it's very easy to get coordinated on the Google Classroom. It is easy for the students to join the class. Just send an email to the students, and then they click on it and they get into class. Or give students a unique class code. Every classroom has a code that is generated for it. So it's like a password into that class. You'll get to see all of these, okay? It distributes technology electronically, thereby reducing the use of paper. So like I said, for your admin team, you can do this even to use for announcements or whatever you want to do, okay, to disseminate information. So it distributes things electronically. It reduces paper, it reduces the use of paper for you. It also enables you to receive documents electronically, so you can only print what you need to print. So most of your communication with the students will be done, electronically, and you don't need to print anything if you don't want to. It just makes life kind of easier for you. It is easy for students and teachers to keep track of assignments. Students can turn in assignments even when the teacher has left the class, because it's done electronically. It's easy for absent students to pick up missed assignments. If a child is ill, for example, and an assignment was given on the Google Classroom, the child can still log in later, and see what was given and catch up right there, okay, without you having to bother, how do I send it to the child, or what is going to happen, all of that. It provides grade and feedback. So students receive feedback as soon as it is sent by the teachers. We're going to look at all of that. It gives the option to include students' marks and comments. There is detailed conceptualized feedback through Google Drive comments. All of these are just things that, and it's also accessible for most devices, including Windows, Mac, Android. You know, all you need is an up-to-date Chrome, and you're there, voila. It helps students to stay organized. Teachers know what needs to be done and by when. Like I said, there's a calendar, and so it helps you can have deadlines for the things that you need to do. It assists the teacher in differentiation. Self-starters can move ahead, and in the same class, one child can be working on something and another child is working on another thing, depending on their level. So if for differentiation, it makes it easier for you. So students can be working on different activities in the same space. The teacher can contact students individually and also have whole class discussions and questions. So for example, if a child, you need to discuss privately with a child, you don't want others to know, you can always send a message directly, okay, instead of sending to the whole class. So there are general announcements for the class, general class discussions and questions, and there's some that you may want a child, to do individually. The class allows that kind of flexibility. Communication is very easy with the whole class using Stream or email. Okay, so we'll now look at how do we create a class. We've looked at the intro. That's just an introduction of what the class is like, the advantages of it, the things you can do with it. So let's look at how you create a class. Okay, so when you get onto the Google Classroom, you'll see a plus sign somewhere I think at this point I may have to stop here so that we can actually try them out in the next video. But these are some of the things you'll be doing, creating your class, giving it a class theme, and a bit about your class and things like that, how to add your students, and how to create announcements and assignments. Those are the things that we will now be looking at. So I think I'm going to stop here so that we move on to the next video where we'll actually have all of these things practicalized, okay? All right, so those are the things that we'll be looking at in the next video. All right, so if you have any questions from this, please feel free to ask them. I'll be available to answer them. Thank you.